Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Get ready to do one of my last viewer request reviews. Just kind of want to take a few days to a week off for the rest of September, but I'm not gonna get to all of them because oh, I've been doing I've done like at least 50 requests so far, and I still have like 40 to 50, so I'm not gonna get to all of them. But this is one of the last ones for Josh72456. And a few other people wanted me to review this film as well. Blade Runner. This is the 4-disc collector's edition, which for me, I think it's the only set you need. I'm not really down. I think Michael Keane has the suitcase. I believe he does. Does he? Shit. I think he does. And I don't know. I mean, the thing is, this is a lot cheaper. And the only thing I could think of is, other than you have a suitcase and some little stuff, you have the word print, which I don't think probably has much of anything on there. I don't know. I didn't really need to see the word print of this film. I mean, it's already a 4-disc set, and that's good enough for me. And you already have pretty much 3 cuts of the film. So, but anyway, Blade Runner. It's a film. It's a classic. Not much sure how to do a review of a classic film, and the fact that I know, like, my friends Mike and Effrey, they don't hate this film, but they think the film. I think they think the film's okay. Like, I remember talking. They want a little bit. They wanted the film to have more action, more shootouts, more action. Usually, I'm down for that, but for some reason, I don't really see the need for it in this movie. I know that's very strange. I mean, of course, you have Harrison Ford as Deckard, quote, a Blade Runner, guy who chases down replicants. Replicants are sort of, I don't know if you want to call them androids, if you want to call them something else, kind of made for slave labor in a way, but some have escaped, including you have Rutger Hauer's character, you got Daryl Hannah's character, Daryl Hannah, Rutger Hauer, a few others. And basically, it's Harrison Ford's job to find them and kill them. And Rutger Hauer and them are pretty much looking for their creator, trying to figure out why they're dying. Is there anything they can do? They want to keep living. Harrison Ford meets up with, of course, this lady here, Sean Young. Also meets up with this guy, Dan's. Well, not Dan's. I'm thinking of fucking 40 Hours. Can't believe I forgot his name already. Shit. Edward James Olds, his character I never really cared about in this film. I will be flat out honest. Gaff. That's what it was, Gaff. I never really. Anyway, I'll get to that later. But basically, it's it's a sci-fi with great special effects, with its take on sort of film noir, however you want to say that word, film noir. I guess sort of that Bogart, stuff in the 30s and 40s, but in the sci-fi landscape. I don't need to go into the plot. Everybody knows the fucking movie. But I really enjoy this film. The film had an interesting backstory. For those wondering on this disc, this 4-disc set, it's a really great set. It opens up like this. Nice pictures there. Opens up to the 4-disc. Like that. Has all the info on here. So like on disc 1, you have the final cut with a commentary with Ridley Scott, commentary with screenwriters and producers, commentary with the special effects guys. This too is a great documentary called Dangerous Days, The Making of Blade Runner. It's like 2.5 hours long. Definitely one of the best documentaries I've seen for a movie. This 3, George Ludi should take a page from this. Because this 3, look at this. All versions. George Ludi. Why can't he can't do that for Star Wars, but yet they could do it for fucking, because some people know what the hell they're doing. But the theatrical cut, the international theatrical cut, the director's cut, and then disc 4 is like little featurettes about the DVD restoration, featurettes from back in the day. They even have people arguing, is Deckard a replicant or not? There's some directors and like Guillermo del Toro and Frank Darabont and such talking about their experience of first seeing Blade Runner and their thoughts on it. But Blade Runner is one of those films that has an interesting backstory about how they want certain folks like Dustin Hoffman and other people to be Deckard, but then things changed. The experience on the film was a pretty bad experience for a lot of people, especially I know Harrison Ford. Pretty bad experience for him. Him and Sean Young, who's supposed to be playing People Fall in Love, they didn't really like each other well. A lot of the crew got pissed off at Ridley Scott. And the film came out and didn't really do much with critics. Didn't really do much at the box office, but now it's sort of known as one of the, quote, best sci-fi films of all time. The interesting thing with me with Blade Runner was, back in the day when I was a kid, I saw this on VHS, and I hated it. I didn't want to watch it again. Because I had seen the theatrical cut. It might have been actually, for some reason, they might have on VHS the, quote, the international theatrical cut, which is the same bullshit, but like they had a little bit teeny more of gore and such. Because it had that very boring narration, which I fucking hate. I hate that narration. And I know Harrison Ford hated it too. Because it's just totally like, no shit. It's like, here is what's happened, you figure it out. Then here's Harrison Ford's narration to tell you what you just saw. I'm like, I already figured it out. Thank you. It just, I know even Harrison Ford didn't like it. So I got bored from the film. I would fall asleep from the film. But then, got a DVD player. I know I'm itching my nose a lot. Staring out outside is wetter than bitchin' heat out there, so just seeing if, thankfully no lightning. But when I got a DVD player, got the DVD that was the director's cut. And when you take that very annoying narration out of the film, you realize that music and visuals alone can really pull you into a movie. And that's the big thing about this. I mean, of course, the great musical score by Vangelis. Ba ba da 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 ba 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 da ba. This is weird. Beautiful looking future. I mean, the special effects still work today. The sets still look great in that grungy, gritty, dark way, but they still look wonderful. From back in '82, same time as John Carpenter's Thing. That was a good year for sci-fi films, '82. And it still holds up today. The special effects in this look beautiful. They look great. The models, the sets, everything looks great. I think Harrison Ford did a fine job for what he had to do. Um, Sean Young was fine. Rutger Hauer, great as Roy Batty. I know my friend Effrey is like, what the hell is he doing at the end? Is he trying to rape Deckard? Because, by the end, the way I always looked at it was that it seems that that's probably going to be the last. The guy's dying. Like, Roy Batty's character is dying. So maybe his sort of brain is frying up. So it's almost like getting back to primitive state. So he's taking his clothes off and trying to steer the shit out of Deckard, who killed Daryl Hannah. That was an interesting fight with Bruce. For some reason, I want to keep saying Bruce Willis. I don't know why. Harrison Ford and Daryl Hannah with that certain look, and has a certain look across her eyes, like black line or whatever the hell you call it, like black spray paint almost. And flipping and getting thighs over at Harrison Ford and shooting the shit out of her. And yeah, it seems like he just wants to. It didn't bother me as much, I guess, effort, because I just figured basically Rutger Hauer wants to steer the shit out of Harrison Ford. And what's worse than Rutger Hauer naked coming after you? And he wasn't fully naked, but I'm just saying, half naked Rutger Hauer, half naked Hitcher coming at me, I'd be scared too. So. And then when he breaks his fingers, Harrison Ford's fingers, and just playing with them, messing with them. Because it's like the last moments of his life, he's going to have fun. And then that moment where he saves Deckard, you're like, why did he save it? Why did he save him? You come to your own conclusion. Maybe it was just a sort of wiring that's like instinctual. Or maybe because he wanted to do something human for before he dies. It has that beautiful speech, which I think Rutger Hauer helped come up with. The shows, or at least he added to it. The Tannhauser gates, and I want to find that quote because it's a great quote. I think some people just got kind of depressed with the film and the fact that, if you think about it, Harrison Ford's Deckard, he doesn't really. He gets his ass kicked a lot in a way. I don't know. I guess for me, it kind of seemed refreshing, a little bit different. It didn't bother me like I guess it would in other films. Uh, but if you think about it, I mean, the first one he takes down, what was her name? Joanna Cassidy, and he shoots her in the back when she's running away. Then you have him versus Brian James, and Brian James beats the shit out of him, and he's about ready to die, but Sean Young saves him. Then he is able to kill Daryl Hannah, and then Roy Batty saves him and gives that speech, which I'm trying to find. And what the hell is it? I know it's in here. But anyway, I'm guessing that's what I'm hesitating because I know there's some people who don't like the film or who didn't get into the film. I'm trying to point out why it is, and plus I'm also trying to find that damn quote. But they say that, that Harrison Ford's Deckard isn't really that, if you think about it, isn't really that good of an investigator, and the fact that he gets his ass kicked or he has to shoot him in the back, and in a way that kind of made it grimmer. I don't know, it didn't bother me for some reason. I don't know why it didn't bother me. Maybe because it was like a little bit different. Wasn't downbeat or anything. But I don't know, I mean, the visual wise, audio wise, the music, the sets, the special effects. I like Harrison Ford as an actor. Rutger Hauer is a great bad guy. That pulled me into the film and made me really enjoy the flick. I didn't. The Edward James Olmos character, I think, is fucking useless. Like, he kind of has like a following that character gaff with it. I don't know why. Because he's barely in the film. Like once, like one, two, or three times, he like has a little chit chat with Deckard, and then at the end, you know, it's too bad she won't live. But then again, who does? I'm like, well, fuck you then. Fuck off, Eddie. Fuck off, Eddie James Olmos. Fuck you, Goff. Just useless character, in my opinion. Like, really, honestly, you could have taken the character out. Didn't fucking need him, in my opinion. Didn't really add anything. Um, the only thing that bothers me is the stupid fucking bullshit unicorn. I mean, I love the director's cut and the fact that, none of the narrations bullshit's in there, but the fucking unicorn bullshit, where basically, I mean, Ridley Scott himself has said that Deckard, Bruce Willis, not Bruce Willis, Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford's character is supposed to be a replicant. And that to me is fucking stupid. Why? Why do that? So I can't even really feel for Harrison Ford because, I guess that's the point, what really makes us human. But then it doesn't really make fucking sense. Like, how come at the end, Edward James almost goes, it's too bad she won't live, but then again, who does? But he gives no warning to fucking Harrison Ford. Like, why is Sean Young about ready to die because she's a replicant? But yet, Harrison Ford is fine and dandy. I understand, like, Rutger Hauer and those replicants, it's that sort of deal where they get twice the power. That's why they're so much more powerful than Deckard. Like, they can manhandle him and they can do this and that. But it's like if they get twice the power, they get half the lifespan. It's like the energy, the life gets burned out, twice as quick. And that, people say, well, the reason he's so weak is that they had him have a regular lifespan. And I just find it stupid. Like, if his job is to chase replicants, then why would you not give him the fucking ability? I mean, to be like, okay, you hunt these down and, we'll keep you going, keep your life going. Or like, and someone would probably say, well, because they don't want him to know that he's a replicant. It just doesn't fit to me. Him being a replicant just doesn't really make sense to me. It really doesn't. I don't give a fuck how many because it just kind of ruins the film. Deckard being a replicant, not being human. I know Harrison Ford got pissed about that too. He's like, fuck that, I'm not a replicant. He didn't say that, but it's like, I don't like that idea. I agree with them. That's the only thing I don't like about the director's cut. If they cut this shit out with the fucking unicorn, I have no problems with it. And Edward James Olmos' character being useless. But it's just a stupid idea. Again, I know the whole idea is, well, what's human and what's not? What makes us a human being? But I don't like the idea that your hero, you can't really identify him because you don't really know where he's coming from. You don't know, was he created the day before we saw him eating those noodles? And they just gave him the memories and shit that he was a great Blade Runner? And if that was the case, why don't they just, still make him as strong as the others? And, I don't know, well, then he was a replicant. Well, then couldn't they program to say, well, you're do this or do that, or you do this, fine. You know who you are, do this, and then, do your job, and then you'll get programmed to live longer or something. I don't know. I don't like the idea that Decker's a replicant. I know Frank Darabont on the funny thing was Frank Darabont's the guy who directed The Shawshank Redemption and The Mist and Green Mile. He was pissed about that when he was interviewed. He's like, "Fuck! he didn't say fuck that, but his intention was fuck that. I don't like the fact he's a replicant. So I agree with Frank Darabont as well. Of course, he guy helped work on the Blob remake, so the guy knows what he's doing. But I don't mind that this is not an action film because I didn't need it to be an action film. I really don't. I didn't need to be, put down to the typical firefights and because I'll be honest, Harrison Ford action hero, but not like for a lot of firefights. I know he's Indiana Jones and Han Solo, but I like that it was a different character. It was different kind of film. Yeah, for me, it just did not need the action, action, action. It was more about the mood, the atmosphere, the special effects, the score, the visual of the film, pulling you into this world, and then doing sort of film noir. Kind of like, I enjoy that film Brick with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like that sort of detective type story, it doesn't bother me at all. When it's done right. I think it's done right in that film Brick. I think it's done right here in Blade Runner. Um, I'm not really sure what else to talk about. I mean, oh yeah, the great dialogue that Rutger Hauer ends the film with is, "I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Cat ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser days. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears and rain. Time to die." Beautiful little quote there that he ends with. And it's weird because it's stuff like, you don't know what the hell they are. What the hell is C-beams? And Tannhauser Gate, what the hell is that? But yet, you don't know what the hell it is. And yet, it works. It really does work. I know the other differences, like the theatrical cut, they had a different ending where they're driving off into like the country or something. But I like the way it ended on the director's cut, where basically they get in the elevator and then it has that bass. But that's the thing. I don't want him to be a fucking replicant. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That they went to all this trouble to make a fucking replicant go after these things, and he's still as weak as them. Like, why didn't you just get some fucking detective to do the job, and instead of creating all this fucking time to create a replicant that once again is weaker than the guy he's going after? Does that make a lot of sense to you? No! We don't make this guy, he's weaker than them. But fuck it, let's do it. And he's outnumbered. And that's the thing, like, he's supposed to be this big Blade Runner, but it's like, if he's a replicant, is that all a lie? Has he only been there, what, a month, really? But he thinks it's years? Maybe this is only his first, second, third case when he thinks it's his 50th? That's what I mean. I don't like that. You make him a replicant, you open so many fucking doors of annoyance that just blows your mind and your ass. I don't like the replicant bullshit. I don't know what the fuck Ridley Scott was smoking when he thought of that. I really don't. So what is he going to do in the Alien prequel? Don't make the aliens fucking replicants? No, they weren't really xenomorphs. They were replicants. They were copies of something. Something stupid, right? But same thing. You're fucking stupid. Pisses me off. But either way, I still love the film. I love the film to death. It's great. Definitely one of the best sci-fi films out there. It's just, get rid of the fucking unicorn. But beautiful mood, atmosphere, direction, setting, music. Cast did fine, especially Harrison Ford and Rutger Hauer. Um, Definitely a solid film. Just, Deckard is not a replicant. I don't care if fucking Ridley Scott says it. He's wrong. Doesn't make no fucking sense. But either way, that's just my opinion. But either way, thanks for watching and take care. Later.